Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got breaking news coming out from Yemen to share with all of you. So we had reports breaking earlier today that the Israeli Air Force launched another wave of intense airstrikes across western Yemen, targeting Houthi-controlled infrastructure. We have reports that the runway and control tower of the Sana'a International Airport took direct hits. I think the runway suffered at least three direct hits from Israeli bombs that were dropped on the runways, and also control tower taking a direct hit. I've got a picture to show of that in just a little bit. We also have reports that the Hezyaz and Ras Kanatib thermal power plants were also hit, potentially destroyed, and infrastructure in the ports of Hodeidah, Salif, and Ras Kanatib also were hit. Okay, so we had airports, thermal power plants, and the Sana'a International Airport, which is in the capital city of Yemen, taking direct hits as well. So this is another response from Israel. Israel already said they were going to be doing this, launching massive strikes inside of Yemen, and I told you guys this would happen as well. This is, for the most part, all Israel can do to target the Houthis, and they're going to continue these strikes until Yemen discontinues their attacks onto Israel, as we have been reporting that Houthi ballistic missiles have been striking inside of Tel Aviv recently and targeting Israel repeatedly almost every week. Okay, we also have reports that the WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, if I'm saying his name right, he was also at the airport as well in Sana'a during the airstrikes, and thankfully he was not harmed in these attacks. And there was also other UN members who were at the airport during these strikes. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the news, start sharing all these details with you guys regarding these attacks. So we're going to start off here with the BBC just for a moment. I'm going to briefly go over this article for you guys, and then I will cite it down below if you want to read the rest. It says, head of WHO at Yemen airport during Israeli airstrikes. It's just coming out today on December 26, 2024. And it says down here, the head of the World Health Organization, WHO, and other UN staff were at Yemen's international airport in Sana'a on Thursday during an Israeli airstrike. In a social media post, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said he and staff were about to board a plane when the airport came under aerial bombardment. One of our plane's crew members was injured, he wrote, adding that two people at the airport were killed. The strikes which also hit power stations and ports, have killed at least three people, with more than a dozen injured, according to Houthi-run media. The Iran-backed rebel group described the attacks as barbaric after Israel claimed responsibility for the strikes. So unfortunately, we did have some innocent people inside of Yemen that were killed and injured in these airstrikes, which makes sense. I mean, some of these targets that were struck, there could have definitely been innocent people there. So here's a picture of Dr. Tedros here from the WHO, and it says it is unclear whether the fatalities were civilians or Houthi rebels. In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces, or the IDF, said its fighter jets conducted intelligence-based strikes on military targets belonging to the Houthi terrorist regime on the western coast and inland Yemen. It targeted military infrastructure at Sana'a International Airport, as well as the Hezyaz and Ras Kanatib power stations and sites in the Al Hodeidah, Salif, and Ras Kanatib ports on the west coast, the IDF said. In comments shortly after the strikes, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said it would continue to cut off the terror arm of the Iranian axis of evil until we complete the job, adding that we are only just starting with the Houthis. Mohammed Ali al-Houthi, head of the Houthis' Supreme Revolutionary Committee, called the strikes barbaric and aggressive. He said that confrontations with American and Israeli arrogance will continue until the conflict in Gaza stops. Several people injured by the strikes at the airport in Sana'a told Houthi-run broadcaster Al Masirah that the runway was struck 3 times before the airport's control tower was also hit. One man who identified himself as Dr. Abbas Rajeh said that the police hospital he works in treated 10 patients after the attacks. One had already died, another was in critical condition, and others had minor injuries or broken bones. Iran described the strikes as a clear violation of international peace and security. So again, there is more information down here. You guys can read it if you want to. Again, I'll cite it down below. But yes, unfortunately, we did have some people who were injured, potentially innocent people, due to these strikes inside of Yemen. So that's very unfortunate to have to report that. But we knew that Israel was going to go ahead and strike Yemen again, and they're coming out saying they will continue to do this. until the Houthi rebels discontinue their attacks onto Israel. So we're probably going to be seeing more strikes very similar to this in the coming days and weeks. So let's go ahead and hop on over to X now. I've got a few things that I want to show you guys over here from independent news. This is from Conflict Live, breaking reports of intense Israeli airstrikes at Houthi positions in Yemen. So we've got a video to show you guys and also a couple pictures coming out from what looks like the airport and some other targets inside of Yemen. So we'll start off with this video here. So this video right here shows what looks like there was a strike way in the distance over there, and then also an up-close one right here. Not sure exactly what was targeted in this area, but it was one of the few videos that were coming out showing intense airstrikes inside of Yemen. So we also got a couple pictures to show you here as well, is what looks like multiple strikes, maybe 2 or 3 just in this area right here. I understand this picture is very small and blurry, but it was something that we were able to find for you guys. And also looks like at the airport, these were some of the strikes located at the Sana'a International Airport today as well. And we also have reports of some Houthi fighter jets that may have been destroyed as well. I'll show you that information here in just a moment. Okay, also a video coming out directly from the Sana'a International Airport. This is from DOAM. And it says here, Israeli military launched a series of airstrikes targeting Sana'a International Airport and Hodeidah Port in Yemen earlier today, resulting in the killing of 4 civilians. So we got a 20-second video to show you of mass panic here at the airport. I think it might be followed up with something else also. Take a look at this. Okay, so we can see massive panic here. Lots of people running, trying to get out of this international airport in Sana'a. And then shortly after, when the video changes, we can see here direct strikes at this airport. Okay, we can see lots of smoke there all over the place. Okay, so looks like we had major damage at this airport. But again, what we're hearing is that an air traffic control tower took a direct hit. And then also we had some of the runways being damaged as well from the bombings of the Israeli warplanes, okay? So moving on to another update from Mosin Defender. Sana'a International Airport, as well as the ports of Hodeidah and Ras Isa, are all out of service following this morning's wave of Israeli airstrikes, which targeted Houthi military and infrastructure sites in western Yemen. So here's a picture coming out from there as well. We can see at least 1, 2, 3 direct strikes over here inside of Yemen as well. Looks like that could be potentially on the coastline, potentially targeting some of the Houthi-controlled ports, okay, inside of Yemen. All right, moving on to another update from OSINT Technical. Al Hadath reports that Houthi F-5s were destroyed in tonight's Israeli airstrike on Sana'a Airport. Okay, so I wasn't able to completely confirm this. There wasn't any mainstream news or anything like that talking about this, but multiple sources sharing on X that there could have been potentially multiple of these Houthi F-5 fighter jets that were destroyed at the Sana'a airport as well. And I thought that was interesting that their military fighter jets were being stored at an international airport. But yeah, looks like that could have been a possibility as well. Okay, also from open source intel, rest in peace, Houthi airport. Okay, take a look at this picture. We can show the air traffic control tower that took a direct hit from an Israeli bomb or missile and completely destroyed the whole top of it, okay? So the international airport could be out of service here for a little while, and they're going to have to be conducting some repairs also. Okay, take a look at this as well from Neo Berg. Israel is bombing Sana'a in the middle of the Houthi press conference. Power move. Okay, so apparently we had this Houthi leader here. His name is Abdul Malik al-Houthi. So the leader of the Houthis was holding a press conference apparently, and during the same time while he was holding this press conference, that's when Israel was bombing all kinds of targets in western Yemen. So most likely another message being sent to the Houthis directly as he was holding this press conference. And also this from open source intel, Houthi leader, Israel is incapable of confronting us. He said this as Israel was taking out their airport and power stations. So allegedly this is something he may have been saying also during the speech or maybe very recently. as at the same time, we also had the airport and power stations, all these ports being struck at the same time. So he said that Israel was incapable of confronting them at the same time they're taking these strikes, okay? Also from Vivid, breaking, the IDF is hammering the northern Gaza Strip with massive bombardments as we speak. The explosions are echoing throughout central Israel, shaking the very walls of every house. Hamas is facing its end. They are being utterly destroyed. Okay, I wanted to show you this information as this came out a few hours after we heard that Israel was carrying out their bombardment of Yemen. Soon after, we started to see major airstrikes inside of Gaza as well, targeting Hamas. Okay, so that was coming out today from Vivid. And then also, one last thing I want to share with you guys from Suppressed News: urgent warning to the settlers of Tel Aviv. If you are inside or near Ben Gurion Airport, you must evacuate and move away immediately. The Yemeni armed forces are continuing their daily targeting of Tel Aviv, and today the focus may be on Ben Gurion Airport. If you're inside or near the airport or the surrounding buildings, distance yourself immediately by at least 500 meters. Anyone near Ben Gurion Airport is putting their life in danger. So this came out today, right around 2:53 p.m. my time, so just about 30 minutes ago or so at the time that I record this. You can see it's currently 3:25 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time in the United States. Looks like the Israelis may have put out a warning to the residents inside of Israel, letting them know not to go to the Ben Gurion Airport or to stay away from it, as the Houthis could potentially target it, maybe with ballistic missiles. As obviously today we had the Sana'a International Airport in Yemen being heavily struck by Israeli warplanes. So that was coming out today. We might be hearing very soon that Houthi ballistic missiles were fired targeting Tel Aviv to strike the Ben Gurion Airport. Now, the Ben Gurion Airport just came under attack not too long ago. I reported that to you guys as Hezbollah was launching missiles and rockets into the Ben Gurion Airport. We had lots of damage being reported there. So if we end up hearing that the Houthis are firing back at Ben Gurion Airport, I'll definitely let you guys know. But today they did carry out a massive wave of strikes across Yemen, again targeting ports, thermal power plants, and the Sana'a International Airport. So I just wanted to give you an update on what happened down here and what Israel did today. So let me know what you think down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.